Welcome to the Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Daryl Smith Jr., and across the internet from me and across from the city from me is...
Hi, I'm Rody John, and to my right is...
Amy! On today's show, we sit down with Michael Curtis Asbill to talk about his art installation, Breaking Ground, Art in the Time of COVID, and what brought him back to Arlington from Chicago.
We also talked
Hold on, Rody. Hold on. Before you say this, I want to give you mad props for running this interview down for months. I think it's probably one of the most important interviews we've ever had, and I want to just give you mad props because you did awesome getting it.
Honestly, it was very impressive, and Rody is not a showboater. So he's like, that's just what I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely incredible, and we think you're amazing. And he's like, yeah, no problem, guys.
And so I also think it's one of the things we talked about doing when we started the show was being able to do this, and now we've did it. Check mark, right?
Yeah, we did.
And Rody made that happen. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I tried many avenues to get your mayor, Jeff Williams, on our show, and today we talked to him about Wear a Mask Y'all campaign in Arlington Arts Council and a potential Arlington Citizen Media Day. Spoiler alert. Probably not gonna happen.
Oh well.
We did talk there, and yes, that was our goal. And I thought about that earlier. I was like, well, we hit that goal. Now what's the next?
Now we're done.
We need the key to the city.
We will obviously the key to the city.
And we asked for that. He seemed very confused about who we were, but that's okay. He talked to us, and honestly, I was impressed with the conversation.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys really enjoy it.
Maybe next we'll talk to Jerry Jones, hopefully before he dies. So
that would be amazing.
If he ever dies.
That's our next level. We got to one power center of Arlington. Now we have to get to another power center of Arlington.
I like that we just completely ignore Governor Abbott.
Well, he's not local to Texas, or he's not local to Arlington. He's local to Texas. So.
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
I think a lot of people probably need to ignore what Abbott does and says, but here we are.
Anyway, so what has everyone been up to this week?
Well, I wanted to talk about a little donut place that my daughter and I have frequented for years.
Yes, have I.
Every first day of school, every birthday, every special Friday, every time she had a test, we would always go to Donut Palace. It's on Park Springs, in the same shopping center kind of the neighborhood Walmart, and there's a Subway there.
Subway's gone actually now.
Oh no!
Wow, Rody, that's a piece of your history.
In the corner. They have the best sausage rolls, the jalapeno sausage rolls.
Pigs in a blanket or kolache, depending on who you are.
And I know that's not a kolache, right? I've been in Texas enough to know that that's not a kolache, but the jalapeno sausage rolls, and they make these fun Pikachu donuts for the kids. She always wanted me to bring them to the class. It is so cheap.
Yeah.
And the quality is great. And they always throw in 6 donut holes for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I go to any other donut place in Arlington now and they don't do it, I'm like, what is wrong with this place?
Your standard of customer service is very high from donut. How long has that place been there, Rody? You've lived over in that area for a long time.
It's had to have been over 20 years.
So I'm pretty sure that because I used to work at that grocery store. It was the Nelson's IGA before it was the neighborhood Walmart.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure I've eaten at the Donut Palace, and it's been a long time for me, but yeah, it was great. I used to go there every Saturday when I'd have to be there at 7 in the morning.
Yeah. They do croissant pigs in a blanket also that are just absolutely incredible. The only place I've seen really that does that.
Yeah, really good. Apple fritters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, are those apple fritters good? That's how you judge a place. If their apple fritters really good,
top notch.
I'm in.
I will take that place for their apple fritters and several other items over Krispy Kreme any day.
Oh, dude, Krispy Kreme is... And guess what? I worked there, too.
You did it?
I did. I slung donuts when that place first opened when I was 16.
On Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was freaking bumping back then. Cops were directing traffic and shit.
That couldn't have been when you were 16.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has it been
when
there?
It opened?
Yeah. I remember it opened.
Yeah.
No, I was 16 when it opened. My dad was the manager there. how I got the job. Nepotism, just like Donald Trump Jr.
Anyways, I like them for just their plain, glazed donuts, which are like unbeatable right off the contraption.
Oh, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
Okay.
but anything else, Donut Palace. Great jelly,
Right.
great custard, great cream, cute donuts for the kids, amazing prices. It's a tradition, right? It's one of those places that, it's meaningful to my family.
Right, it becomes a part of the fabric of your life, right? And that's
Right.
like a local business that, has been doing that for years now. For every one of us, it's touched us in some way.
Yeah.
More so Amy than me, right? Like, I've only eaten there like twice.
That used to be my place to just go on a regular basis, too, so.
Because it's close to where you went to high school as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I have always shopped in that area and worked in that area, so.
Yeah.
And it was like the closest donut place to my house, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go here.
No-brainer.
I went to Iris this past Sunday, and, that place had a line out the door, which is great.
Really? That is so awesome.
So, and they've been there
At least almost the same amount of time.
in that same amount of time.
Because I remember them having like coffee houses and like, people playing there and like, it was a thing.
Yeah. The last time I went in there, I actually asked, because it's all family owned.
Yeah.
So if you go later in the morning, they're not open very late.
Right.
It's the son who's there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I asked him about using the space, for art stuff. And he said, yeah, we're always into that. Anytime, let us know. So that's Iris Bagel and Coffee on
Green Oaks and 20. So in between Little Road and Green Oaks.
In that shopping center?
Yeah. Sprouts is over there.
Mm-hmm.
the Studio Movie Grill.
Studio
Yeah.
Movie is over there.
Well, it's a movie tavern, but yes.
Sorry, my bad.
The Catch is over there. There's Chihuahua's
Chihuahua
Mexican
Charlie's.
Canteen. Yeah. That place is over there too. Open back up also. So
What'd you have there?
I always get the Eggle. So I got the bacon, egg, and cheese Eggle on the Parmesan.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like to get this weird one that's like on a cinnamon bagel with like a sausage and like salsa.
Okay, there's a lot of flavors going on. It's Flavor Town.
Good. And they have the best mocha I've ever had, like cafe mocha. Did you do anything?
What did you do?
I started school.
Okay.
It was super weird. It's all online, which is fine. I did that back in the day too, so that wasn't that big of a deal, but it's weird. It's weird being like, cool, I had to work all day, and now I'm going to come help my kid do school, and now I'm going to go to school myself. But here we are, 2020, man. It's wild.
Yeah, I have to say, well, congratulations to you
Yes.
for like really putting the effort in on that. You guys, it's never too late.
Right.
Never,
It's
ever,
not. I'm
ever.
an old man, and I'm going back.
Yeah.
We are here with Michael Curtis Asbill, a local artist and musician here in Arlington. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are y'all today?
Doing well.
Great.
So, what is your connection to Arlington? Did you grow up here?
I did.
Okay.
I grew up here from like 8 years old until I was 18. So
Okay. And I wanted to mention that just because you're a graduate of Texas State University.
I am. Yep.
And then you got your Master's of Fine Arts in Chicago.
I did.
And how was that?
It was extremely stressful, very difficult, and also one of the most rewarding and inspiring things I've ever done.
So, what can you tell us about your art installation, The Breaking Ground?
Breaking Ground was it was an art installation that happened in 2017,
Okay.
and it was, my art tends to center itself around what I'm thinking about in that moment and what I'm researching.
Right.
Fueled by just a tinge of paranoia. But Breaking Ground was about the 2016 election here in Arlington, Texas.
Right.
That where people decided whether or not they wanted to fund the Texas Live development.
Right. And the new ballpark, Globe Life Field.
Yeah.
Right.
And having been from Arlington, and I was in Chicago at the time, but I was absentee balloting, so that's how I kind of became aware of it. I wasn't plugged in as much, but I was still voting here, and so I saw it on my ballot, and I was like, "We're doing this again." Is kind of where it all started. I grew up here in the height of tearing down neighborhoods to build AT&T Stadium.
Right.
And so seeing this kind of text being presented to me again without a ton of information, without a lot of just a background on who all was funding this, who all was doing it, why was it happening, just being presented on a ballot for the first time, it was kind of a nice flashback moment to driving past the construction site every day. And I was like, well, these are all the questions that I'm having based on reading this text. So why don't I go out and answer it? And that was the whole motivation behind Bacon Ground, is I wanted to know, why were we doing this again? Who were we doing it for? And, and I think who were we doing it for in an immediate sense, but then also growing that into who are we doing this for in the long term? How does this ultimately, even if it's wherever you sit on the fence of like, this is a good thing, this is a bad thing, how can we know everything about this project in order for it to become something that can be good for the city of Arlington in the future?
Right.
And that's, so Breaking Ground was that exploration of, who is, I'm forgetting his first name right now.
Which one?
Bob Simpson? Bill Simpson. What is his first name? I don't know. I should have done more research. It's been 3 years since I've but looking at like, who are these people? Where are they in their lives? Where are they coming from? In terms of industry, and what does this potentially mean to them?
Right.
Versus what does this potentially mean to the city of Arlington, and really trying to suss out like who wanted it, who didn't want it. Were there public meetings? Part of it is, screenshots from the public meeting that was happening. Part of it is this idea, because once I discovered, we're not evicting anyone this time, but we are tearing up this parking lot.
This time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just tearing up a parking lot. But, and then I started playing with this idea of like futility in my own studio, where I was just casting concrete by myself and breaking it for the purpose of casting more concrete.
Right.
And then breaking it for the purpose of casting more concrete.
which is kind of what happened.
Exactly. That's because that's the way that it feels to me. And so that whole installation, that was my master's thesis.
Wow, very nice.
Thank you. And that the whole motivation from that was really to get to the bottom of those questions of, who are these people? What is this for? And what can it be for? And to really work through how I was feeling about this particular project, as well as things like this that have happened in the past all over the country.
So what's the final verdict?
The final verdict is I want to turn it into a circus.
Yeah, okay. I'd be here for that.
Me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I already asked that question.
Okay.
What do you think you learned from both schools, though?
Oh, yeah. So earlier you mentioned you got your master's in Chicago and went to school here. What do you think you learned the most from each of these schools?
I think Texas State University really, it taught me how to navigate the world. I'm coming from a homeschooled kind of punk rock Christian background. So my relationship with the rest of the world has always been a little tense, you can say. And so for me, Texas State was that place where I was, I was at a time in my life where I was like, okay, I'm going to have a whole life ahead of me. I need to figure out how to do this. Yeah. And so Texas State was really that place where I threw myself into, just the people around me who have had very different experiences in their lives. And I tried to understand where they were coming from and what motivated them. And just Texas State allowed me to wrap my brain around the way that this world that I saw as outside of myself worked. And I'm very, very lucky for that. And I think that's really what I value from that experience. And then the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, like I said, it's difficult, it's hard, it's great. But I've always kind of had this desire of plugging into like a larger global consciousness. So same thing. It's just, instead of going around and learning like how to talk to people from Texas, I'm now plugging into a much larger global community, and I'm now talking to people from all over the world and learning, what are your experiences, what are your motivations, those kinds of things. And so it really gave me an opportunity to do what I wanted, and that was to talk to people that I had thought previously were inaccessible to me.
Sure.
Very nice.
So before we started recording the interview, you were talking a little bit about nonprofits and how they fund arts, and they do a very good job of funding like visual art and like theater and stuff like that, but not music so much. What kind of thoughts do you have on that?
Yeah, I think it's just that. I think I'm working in the nonprofit world right now, and as I'm looking at the music scene around here, most of it is kind of bolstered up by bars and those kinds of venues, and
bottom up
and private venue. It is very bottom up, and I think that in terms of energy is very positive and very productive, and a lot of the work that that nonprofits do support the bottom up energy. But it's what I'm thinking about now is like in terms of, I'm a photographer by training. And if I were to do a photography show, it would be me doing the work and me doing the printing and me doing all of that. But then I could reach out, and maybe a nonprofit has a venue for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's another nonprofit that has the ability to help me print. Or maybe there's, so it's just about, I'm just trying to think a lot about how the nonprofit model can be expanded to include more like sonic media and more music, so that maybe the bars are not the only place that people can find that support and find that venue, that stage.
Yeah, something like a nonprofit where musicians could come and record or play instruments they ordinarily wouldn't be able to or afford. That would be really interesting. A place where you could meet other musicians, and there's nothing like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the closest thing we would have would be like the open mics and maybe the chat and do's, where we do have that intermingling of all the musicians and the other places. But like you said, there's no one place, or even like a traveling place where you could have all these people just come together and just kind of swap instruments or swap ideas and even create different songs.
Right, and we kind of played with that idea last year. We Daryl helped organize this musicians lottery. Where
I did. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
feels like it was an eon ago.
It was. It was in the before times. Where you put in what instrument you play, and you were randomly assigned out into another band, and you had 3 months to come up with a set list, and then we all performed together. And that was really cool because we played with people we ordinarily never would have. Or people we've seen around town but never really interacted with. It
was like one guy the drummer was mostly in rock bands. He was with like a singer-songwriter who's like predominantly country, and like one guy played the saxophone, and he played with a bunch of he's an older guy, and he played with some young people, and it was like the clash of styles was really fun. But again, all of that was really bottom up, right? Like I did that, Like I reached out we reached out to
you and
EJ from Frio Trio. We reached out to Division to get the venue. There wasn't any support. Like it was us. We did it. Like kind of like you're saying. Like there's no analog to what you're talking about when you reach out to I guess like Division is kind of, but not a nonprofit that helped us put that together. We were the bridge, I guess.
Yeah.
So what brought you back to Arlington?
There are a lot of things.
Okay.
But I think the nicest and most the most surface level answer to that question, I will be honest with you right now. A lot of things brought me back to Arlington, but I was going through a lot in my personal life, and it became very difficult to be in Chicago at that time, emotionally, financially. I had a student pass away, honestly, which I know, depressing. I said I would be light, but I lied. I had a student pass away, and that was really a lot to handle, especially as a young teacher. and then a young teacher of young students. And then my relationship fell apart, and then I just couldn't hack it financially anymore. So I slept on a bunch of couches through the grace of my friends, and finished up my teaching contract, and moved back to Texas. And my family is here, my niece is here, and she's at that point where she's starting to form memories, and I just realized that I wanted to be in some of them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the ghost uncle.
Right.
You only see on the holidays, or
Exactly.
Ghost Uncle is a really great band name too.
Actually, stolen.
Hit me up.
So you're part of the Fort Worth Arts Council. What does the Arts Council do, and how can we start one here?
So I'm not part of the Fort Worth Arts Council. The Fort Worth Arts Council is kind of like our advisory / oversight board, and they're established professionals in all kinds of industries who come in and advise on the projects that Fort Worth Public Art is doing.
Nice.
And so I'm a staff member of the Arts Fort Worth, or the Arts Council of Fort Worth.
Okay.
And I work with Fort Worth Public Art, which is our contract with the city to make their public art projects happen within the parameters of our organization.
Well,
it's complicated, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have, as far as I know, we don't have something like that here.
Right. I know Councilman Nunez has brought it up as well.
Yeah.
That we don't have one, and so what steps would we have to make to have that happen?
So Fort Worth Public Art started with a master plan.
Okay.
And our director, Martha Peters, worked for the city of Austin doing public art in the city of Austin for a number of years before coming to Fort Worth to start this program. And what Martha did, so Martha was hired to start the Fort Worth Public Art program as a nonprofit contracted by the city of Fort Worth. And the first step was to make a master plan. And so she reached out to other people in the public art field who had built programs like this before, and she had them come in as consultants, and they built up a document, and they said, this is what we're going to do over the next 10 years. This is our goal, this is our mission, and this is how we're going to do it. And then the city approved that, and it went into process.
Okay.
And so I think that's, if the city of Arlington, which I would be interested in seeing the city of Arlington have some kind of arts nonprofit organization, if that is something that people are interested in, it's a matter of finding people to make a plan that can be presented and worked with the city.
Okay. I think we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's something.
I think we could be that bridge to help make that happen. We know a lot of artists now here too, so
now we know you, and that's a good.
I mean, Garrett has connections to the football team. There's a bunch of
He's
artists
also
there.
working for the downtown.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
totally is. And I bet they would be interested in something like that. I mean, they do some of that today, I think, but that's not their exclusive mission.
Right, exactly.
Right, and it's having it be city funded. Is that the city of Fort Worth funds it?
The city of Fort Worth funds Fort Worth Public Art.
Okay.
And so the Arts Council of Fort Worth does a lot more. We have the Community Arts Center, which does the shows, like the gallery shows, so photography, painting, art.
Right.
They have residency that hosts collectives. Right now it's the House of Iconoclast, they're absolutely amazing, and they've been great through the pandemic.
Huh.
And then they have a couple of theaters, which have either... we just finished our original work series, which was a project where people submitted original playwright. The playwrights submitted original plays.
Oh,
One person submitted a musical. They were all amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then they select one and then produce it. So we have those kind of in-house things that we build for our theaters, but then we also have theater companies come in. So dance companies will come in and rent the theater or use the theater. And so I'm sorry, I forgot where this question started, but
how it's funded.
Yeah.
But Fort Worth Public Art is funded through, like I said, we have a city with a contract to manage the city's public art collection, and we're funded through bond and capital project programming. So anytime there's street improvement, that's potential money to a public art project, and there's a percentage of that whole project, of like the whole street renovation, a percentage of that goes to public art, and then we create a public art piece around that street improvement project. Similar to if a library would be a capital project that the city is pursuing.
Right.
If a library is being built, then depending on the budget and depending on the percentage that we get for public art, there's a public art work that's going to be incorporated into that library one way or another.
Right.
You know, like it could be, I'm trying to think of examples off the top of my head, but Sarah Lovas, an artist, just installed and is continuing to install these little figures around the new Golden Triangle Library. And so with that public art piece, it's a bunch of small things that are kind of exploring the library in different ways, and it's very integrated into the library.
Oh, almost like a scavenger hunt kind of.
Almost.
Right.
You know, so it's not always like, oh, there's a big monolith outside of this library. It comes in a lot of different forms, and I think that's kind of what has inspired a lot of these questions about, like, how can that same energy be put towards music? It's like, you know, it doesn't just have, there isn't just one idea of what public art is.
Right.
But the way that it's funded is through improvements that the city wants to make. And the public art is tied to those improvements.
Very nice.
So we have a segment here. Well, we had in the before times. A segment called Tournament of Toppings, where we were trying to find the best pizza place in Arlington.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite pizza place in the city of Arlington?
I do not have a favorite pizza place in the city of Arlington. I'm sorry.
We can give
No,
you a
that's
list
fine.
after
Yeah,
the
we
chat.
have a whole
do.
Lots
list.
of recommendations.
Please do. I'm still working. I've been here. I moved back last September, and I'm still working on my favorite barbecue place.
Okay.
We can help with that.
So I haven't quite got to pizza.
There's a very close. Have you tried Hurtado yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's on the list,
Yes.
but I have not tried it.
That
Also,
will be your favorite.
Speaking of pizza, there's literally one right
Yeah,
across
there's
the
literally
street.
Old School Pizza
That's where I'm
is-
going to eat lunch today.
One
Yeah.
of those popular
Hello,
places.
Old School Pizza.
Yeah. It's our favorite.
Yes.
So if people wanted to check out your artwork and then follow your adventures, where can they do so?
I don't have a website because I'm virtually undiscovered myself. But no, you can follow me on Instagram at Ebo, and that's EEBEAUX. Complicated French clown spelling.
That's another band name.
Yeah.
Complicated French clown.
I'm also on Facebook under Ebo.
Okay.
And if you are truly, truly desperate, I'm on TikTok.
Also,
now.
same name. Yeah, for now.
For now.
It's gonna get sold. It'll be fine.
You know, I'm just going with the flow with these things.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
we're in the middle of a pandemic. We might have this social media app forever. We might have it until
until September.
whatever stuff rains down from the sky. So, you know, who knows?
Yeah, might as well
just
have
living
fun
life.
with it.
Might as well dance around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We've really enjoyed talking with you,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping that this is the beginning of a friendship and a relationship where we can start building the kind of big things that we want to do here in the city. I think this was a great meet.
Yeah.
So thanks for reaching out. and
Yeah,
coming
thank
on.
y'all for having me.
Thank you.
Of course.
We are here with our Mayor, Jeff Williams. How are you today, sir?
Well, doing very well. I just got back from our back-to-school handout for Arlington ISD, and it was very successful.
Yeah, I was just there myself. I went and took advantage of that great service provided by our city and went and got a backpack for my daughter. So.
Well, that's awesome. It's going to end up being around 10,000 on a drive-through basis. Really very creative how Arlington ISD was able to hand out the backpacks.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you're actually part of the Y'all Wear a Mask campaign with Fort Worth Mayor Betsy Price and some other mayors around the Metroplex. What success have y'all seen with this campaign?
Well, it's been amazing. It's a totally different than now than it was a month ago. In fact, I think when you go out, you see our citizens are really helping out and wearing the mask and understand that it truly does help slow the spread of the virus.
Oh, I believe so too. I'm out daily with my job, and I'm seeing people wear masks. And some people do forget sometimes, but they do have them in their either in their pocket or in their car. So they are most definitely having them within their person.
It's one of those things that it's not necessarily what we want to do, but at least it does give us some way to fight this virus and to try to get to the other side where we can get rid of it.
Right, exactly.
So you're also part of the nationwide My Water Pledge campaign, where each mayor pledges to conserve water, energy, and other natural resources. How important is it for people to conserve those resources on a regular basis?
Well, it's so important there, and in fact, Arlington has a long history here of participating in energy and water conservation, and of course, these resources can be used up there, and in addition to that, it is just the right thing to do, not only for us but for future generations.
Right, exactly.
So earlier today, we were talking to a member of the Fort Worth Arts Council. Fort Worth and Dallas both have an arts council. What can we do to get an arts council here in Arlington?
Amy, you are talking about something that has been talked about for 20 years. And it is really hard to get all of our arts people together in a united effort. And, you know, it's a challenge there because they're all going after the same dollars, but I really think it's a good answer for us to have an arts council and combine, all of our major arts organizations there so that they can collaborate. And then the other part of it, though, we need some extraordinary people that will be able to combine all of the interests from our performing arts to our fine arts and the art museum to all of our different sculpture gardens and different things that are going on. But it needs to happen, and maybe it will here because of the right mix of people here over the next year.
I mean, we're doing what we can on our end, and we'd love to sit down and actually try to get everybody together and make this actually happen too.
Well, that'd be awesome. Let's do it. I'd love to work to help convene everybody and have another serious discussion because it's been talked about so long, and it would be great to make that happen.
Good.
So what are you hoping to see for the future of Arlington?
Well, right now we are in the midst of two crises. One is the virus, which is one of the, in our lifetime, the greatest natural disaster that our world has seen. Yeah. And we've got to work hard to come out of this pandemic in both with mental and physical health, but also our economic recovery that's so important so our families can continue to provide for their families. And then the other crisis, of course, is the crisis here of racial discrimination and other forms of discrimination. And we are very excited about our Unity Council that we formed with several of our leading citizens to really work on any area that they may find where there is inequities or there's injustice that exists so that we can try to work on every one of them so our city can really improve and be an even greater city. And of course, the reason we called it the Unity Council is that is the end goal. We want to continue to improve unity because I believe unity in the community is right at the top of what it takes to have a successful city. And of course, our city has been nicknamed the Can-Do City, and sure. We want to continue to, but we're going to have to work at it. And it's important that we reach out to our neighbor, and now in the midst of this crisis, it's even more important. And here in Arlington, we have citizens from all over the world. In fact, over 100 countries are represented by citizens here. And of course, a big reason for that is because many international students come to the University of Texas at Arlington, fall in love with our city, and stay and actually send for their families. And that's a neat thing. But we need to be sure that we are embracing each and every citizen as they come, and then so that we can collaborate and truly have a successful international city.
I believe so too. So what can we do to get Citizen Media Day, or even maybe the key to the city? I mean, hard-hitting questions. We want to.
Citizen Media Day, huh?
Yeah, Arlington Citizen Media Day. I mean, I'm not tooting our own horn, but we try to bring the city together, and, you just kind of want to keep the city. No big deal.
Well, we need to work on that then,
Okay.
without a doubt. We have an event that we haven't started publicizing yet, but we're very excited about it. It's going to be called Unite Arlington, and it is going to be a citizen work day in which we have the first weekend in October there on Saturday and Sunday. And we are going to have our nonprofits and our churches, our mosques, synagogues, all coming together to work on literally hundreds of projects throughout our city there to help our neighbors and then to do some large projects there too. So we are really pumped about what this could mean for our community, and we feel like that in this great time of need, it's even more important that we reach out and help.
We will definitely be there, and we'll definitely continue to advertise that as we get closer to that as well.
Awesome.
Great. Well, we expect several thousand volunteers.
Oh, great.
So we have a segment on our podcast that we call the Tournament of Toppings. We are trying to find out the best pizza place in Arlington. What is your favorite pizza place in Arlington?
Well, I like a lot of them there, no doubt. But I would have to say Corky's there in Southwest Arlington. Okay. It's a brick oven pizza, very thin crust, and I'm kind of a thin crust kind of guy on pizza, and love Corky's pizza.
Yeah, we were there a couple months ago.
Wow, yeah, in the before times.
But we love that place. It's incredibly good. We love the atmosphere there. The pizza, the wood-fired pizza is definitely different than some of the stuff, other pizzas you get in Arlington. So we love that place too.
Yeah, that's right by my house, or our house. Amy lives there as well. So, yeah, we try to get Corky's pretty regularly.
Yep. So we have one final question. What do you think your legacy will be?
Well, I certainly hope it is being a person who empowered others and encouraged others to work together for a bigger goal. And over the last 5 years, we have seen people doing extraordinary things and making a difference here in our community. And and then also I hope that that I encouraged everyone to dream big and then to make those dreams a reality. And one recent that I was so proud of is what happened at Arlington Life Shelter. We saw our citizens there coming together and working to raise dollars, and they had to raise $5 million, and they did it. And that project is coming to fruition. And then in addition to that, we have created more jobs in the last 4 years than any other city in the Metroplex. And when you create jobs, that creates opportunity for our citizens and an ability to attract other companies that then they can give to our nonprofits and so forth. Then the other thing that I would say is that we have been able to be very innovative, all the way from autonomous vehicles to all kinds of data gathering so that we run our community based on data rather than just guessing what we should do. And in fact, we just were awarded the What Works Cities Gold Certification in innovation based on our ability to gather data and to embrace innovation. And in our world right now, we're at the beginning of a technology revolution. And Arlington has become one of the most innovative cities in America, and we need to be, because a lot of this innovation is much cheaper and makes our world safer and much more efficient. And really looking forward to the future here in innovation here and for our community.
Right. So, are you see yourself running for a higher office now that you'll no longer be our mayor after this next election? Next year?
Well, for me, I still have 9 months, and I hope you can look at every month of my term here, and I am not even focused on my next. I want to finish strong here. There's still things to be done, and like I said, I really think this is a very critical time that we're able to move out of this virus and be able to rebound more quickly. And also, we have been blessed in the fact that we haven't had some of the racial tension that a lot of other cities have had, but yet I feel like right now we have an opportunity to really snuff out any sign of that and to put it on the citizens' minds that is so critical that we show kindness and hospitality to each other and all the visitors that we have here. So I see the next few months as a very challenging but very rewarding time, and then I can share with you the serving as mayor of Arlington is one of the hardest things I've ever done because there's just so much to be done. We have a very diverse group of citizens, but it is by far the most rewarding because almost every day I get to help somebody or I get to collaborate with some of our citizens to make a difference here in our community. And it's very uplifting just to be a part of the city of Arlington.
Well, Mayor Williams, thank you for your time so much, and thank you for everything you've done as mayor. And we look forward to having that sit down about the Arts Council. And
well, y'all contact my office and let's get that together, and we can put our heads together on who all needs to be at the table to discuss that. And would love to do it again because it's happened several times. But maybe our time is right now to be able to make this happen.
I think you're right. We have enough leaders, I think, in our community that have really stepped up, young and old. I think that we know the exact right people to put together.
Yes. And then we got lots of examples of how nonprofits working together do better than being independent. Right. Thank you so much for getting out the word because it's so important that our citizens know what's going on without a doubt. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you guys have a great day and know that better days are ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you so much to our guests. A particular thank you, of course, to our mayor, Jeff Williams. Thank you, Rhodey, again for that. Michael Curtis Asbill has turned out to be a really great resource.
Yes.
And a local artist and musician and somebody.
And a really wonderful person.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he's somebody, if you have an idea or some kind of community connectivity idea that you have, he is the one to go to. So he mentioned his social medias while we were speaking to him. Make sure you reach out to that if you have a good idea. Don't forget to
make sure to go out and eat local, drink local, and
go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.
That's life.
It is. It's a family. We have a family.
Exactly. I want to showcase that. It's fun.